Hello guys, Unabridged here, and today, I'm going to be continue reading The Tale of Emily Windsnap by Liz Kessler. Now, I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I am, because this is one of my favorite books of all time. And if you have any, comments, please comment down below, how I can make my channel better. Please like this video, slap it in the face, or whatever you want to do. Tap it with a wand. I don't care. And please subscribe if you're new, because I produce amazing content. Yeah, that's pretty much what everyone says, but, you know, I have to do my part, so peace. Anyways, here we go. Now that's more like it, Bob shouted when I came up for air. You're a natural! Then he turned back to the others, who were squinting and staring at me with open mouths. Mandy's eyes fired hatred at me as Bob said, That's what I'd like to see you all doing by the end of the term. But then it happened. 1 minute I was skimming along like a flying fish. The next my legs suddenly seized up. It felt as though somebody had glued my thighs together and strapped a splint on my shins. I tried to smile up at the teacher as I paddled to the side, but my legs had turned to a block of stone. I couldn't feel my knees, my feet, my toes. What was happening? A second later, and I almost went under completely. I screamed, getting mouthfuls of water. Bob shouted to everyone to stay put and dove in his shorts and t-shirt and swam over to me. My legs, I gasped. I can't feel them. He cupped my chin in his big hand and began a powerful backstroke to bring us back over to the side. Don't worry, he said. It's just a cramp. Happens to everyone. We reached the big step at the side of the pool and climbed onto the top one. As soon as I was halfway out of the water, the weird feeling started to go away. Let me have a look at those legs. Bob lifted me up onto the side of the pool. Can you lift your leg? Left one? I did. And your right? Easy. Any pain? It's gone now, I said. Just a cramp, then. Why don't you rest here for a few minutes? Get in again when you're ready. I nodded, and he went back to the others. But the truth was, I felt something that hadn't. Wait, what? I had felt something that he hadn't seen, and I'd seen something he hadn't felt. And I didn't have a clue what it was. But I knew one thing for sure. You wouldn't get me back in that pool for $1 million. I sat by the side for a long time. Eventually the whole rest of the class got in and started splashing around. Even Mandy was allowed back in, but I didn't want to sit too near those guys in case I got splashed and it happened again. I was even nervous when I went home from school. What if I fell off the pier and into the sea? The boat docks are all along one side of the pier. There are 3 other boats beside King, tied up at ours. One seriously done up, white speedboat, and a couple of bigger yachts. None of the other boats has people living on it, though. An old plank of wood stretches across to get you from the dock to the boat. Mom used to carry me over it when I was little, but I've been doing it on my own for ages now. Only just then I somehow couldn't. I called out to Mom. I can't get across, I shouted when she came up from below deck. She had a towel wrapped around her head and a satin robe on. I'm getting ready for my book group. I stood frozen on the dock. Around me the boats melted into a wobbly mass of mast and tackle. I stared at King. The mast rocked with the boat, the wooden deck shiny with sea spray. My eyes blurred as I focused on the row of portholes along the side of the boat, the thin metal bar running around the edge. I'm scared, I said. So Mom pulled the dressing gown cord tighter around her waist and reached her skinny arm out to me. Come on, sweetie, let's go. When I had made it across she grabbed me and gave me a hug. Dingbat, she said, ruffling my hair. Then she went back inside to finish up. Mom's always going to some group or another. Last year it was yoga, now it's book group. She works at the second-hand bookstore on the promenade, and that's where the group meets. It's pretty cool, actually. At the store, they just opened a cafe bar where you can get thick milkshakes with pieces of real fruit, or big chunks of chocolate chip cookie dough in them. I imagine the book group is just her latest excuse to meet up and gossip with her friends, but at least it keeps her focused on something other than me. Mystic Millie, who does palms on the pier, comes to stay with me when Mom's out. Not that I need a babysitter at my age, but Millie's okay. Sometimes she'll practice her Reiki or Shiatsu massage on me. She even brought her tarot cards once. Apparently they had told her that I was about to achieve academic success and win praise from all quarters. The next day, I got the lowest grade in class on the spelling test and was given 3 lunchtime detentions to do extra study. But that's Millie for you. Luckily, Millie's 2 favorite shows were back-to-back on NBC Wednesday, so I knew she wouldn't bother me tonight. I wanted to be left alone because I needed time to think. There were 2 things I knew for sure. 1, I had to figure out what had happened to me in that pool, and 2, I needed to get out of swimming lessons before it happened again. I could hear Mom belting it out all the way from her cabin, while I paced up and down in the front room. Do you really love me? Do ya wanna stay? She was singing louder than her CD, and always sings when she's getting ready to go out. I don't mind too much, except when she starts doing the video moves. Tonight, I hardly noticed. I'd already tried asking her right up when I got home if I had to go swimming again. She got ballistic. I hope you're joking, she said in that voice that means she isn't. After all the fuss you created and making me buy you that suit, no way are you giving up after 1 lesson. I paced up to the gas stove in the corner of the saloon. That's what we call the living room. I usually get my best ideas when I pace, but nothing was coming to me tonight. I placed past the ratty old sofa with its big orange blanket. Pace, pace, left, right, creak, squeak, think, nothing. Better tell me soon, baby, I ain't got all day. Mom's voice warbled out from her room. I tried extending my pacing to the kitchen. It's called a galley, really. It's got a sink, a tiny fridge, and a countertop that's always covered with empty cartons and bottles. Mom makes us recycle everything. The galley is in the middle of the boat, with the main door and a couple of wooden steps opposite. You've got to be careful of those steps when you come in because the bottom one comes loose. I usually jump down from the top one. I paced through the kitchen and along the corridor that leads to the bathroom in our cabins. How do I look? Mom appeared at the end of the corridor. She was wearing a new pair of Levi's and a white t-shirt with Babe in sparkly rhinestone letters across the middle. I wouldn't have minded much except for the fact that she had bought me a similar shirt in the same time she got hers, and it looked a lot better on her. Great! A familiar sharp tap on the roof stopped me from saying any more. The side door opened, and Mr. Beeston poked his head through. It's only me, he called, peering around the boat. Mr. Beeston's the lighthouse keeper. He comes around to see Mom all the time. He gives me the creeps. He looks at you out of the corner of his eyes when he's talking to you. Plus, his eyes are 2 different colors. One's blue and one's green. Mom says he probably gets lonely up in the lighthouse, sitting around looking out to sea, switching the light on and off, only having contact with people by radio. She says we have to be friendly to him. Oh, Mr. Beeson, I was just racing out to my book group. We're waiting for Millie to show up. Come in for a second. I'll walk down the pier with you. Mom disappeared down the corridor to get her coat as she clambered through the door. And how are we? He asked, staring sideways into my eyes. His mouth was crooked like the tie he always wore. His shirt was missing a button, his mouth missing a tooth. I shivered. I wish Mom wouldn't leave me on my own with him. Fine, thanks. He narrowed his eyes, still staring at me. Good, good. Thankfully, Millie arrived a minute later, and Mom and Mr. Beeson could leave. I hope you guys enjoyed the second episode of me reading The Tale of Emily Windsnap. So, please subscribe and like this video and come back for episode 3. And I'll make out. Peace!